Get it, Rage Babes and Crash Dummies. We're going to not give a, well, I hope you know the rest. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome home to that brand new Channel 4270, known as that Sincerely BAP Radio, the official podcast of those cautionary tales from a Black American princess who is forcing herself to heal while not giving an FUCK in the process. I'm your fellow American Rage Babe, almost retired Crash Out, modern day Black American Princess, and host Amaya Kai, officially opening the office back up for our third therapy session. You could have chose to listen to any podcast in the world, but you chose that channel 4270. And for that, I want to say thank you so much for being here on our third episode at that. I want to first start off by saying thank you, Jesus, because I didn't think my second show was going to do that good. But by the grace of God, it is doing amazing. We are in 2 countries so far, not only just my own, but we're in Asia. So, hey. But I'm so grateful to be here for a third time again. This idea came from my own struggles in life, and I really wanted to just have that space where I'm able to heal properly while also helping others in their healing journey. Because without community, I am nothing. And in this time where I have been through a lot, in last therapy session, we talked about me losing my great grandmother. I am okay, but I'm now learning how to use my community to the best of my ability, but also being able to grow back from so many losses that were cut away from me. And even just hearing the word no, I may do an episode on that one day, but also understanding that I will be okay soon, and I hope that y'all understand that too. Last time we were together in our therapy session, discussions were had amongst the cautionary tale of not realizing our worth during the essence of how, why, God created us, especially when it comes to our body image and seeing what we loved wanting to be growing up, especially as little girls, and now seeing what is being put out now in today's media. With that, we came to the conclusion it's okay to love ourselves, but to also understand that if we don't love what we have now, we may face dire consequences in the near future without realizing that people will literally die to obtain that body we have now. With this week's cautionary tale, y'all, I think it's time I kind of go a little bit too deep. Because let's face it, it's about to be summer. And y'all know that everybody that is in a relationship is either going to have a great time or a bad time. And for my babies who are single right now and are looking for that relationship, this is going to be a very true to the T cautionary tale, which comes from the popular common denominator that has brought upon one of the many reasons why our healing is needed. I'm talking about those individuals who claim daily they're not looking for anything or anyone serious, but they just want to mess around. Everybody at home, say it with me. Men. One of the leading causes of trauma in girls and women. And I cannot let out my other babies. My other babies who do love to be on this side. I support you too, baby. But also, this is for you. You can also be traumatized as well. And this is also backed up by the American Psychological Association that women are 2 to 3 more times likely to develop post traumatic stress disorder, or widely known as PTSD. And what are those one reasons? Say it with me, everybody. Men. However, for the past couple of months, and even learning about my own relationships, I got to the point in my life where I began digging deeper and asking myself some odd questions, including, am I really the problem? Am I really the problem? While also being able to mourn what I lost while also looking towards the future. So let's cove dive into this issue and heal while raging properly. This cautionary tale I like to call a girl's common sense. Are we truly the problem? And it goes a little something like this. Niggas, best believe I'm gonna say it. Not derogatory here, but realizing I might be dealing with a counterfeit, praying day in and out for my future Boaz. Yet every time I landed on the jackpot, I might leave him how I found him as. Giving all the bros and secret girls before heaven, but when it come to me, why I always gotta catch hell? Yet when these antics suddenly pop out, he better not be surprised that I'm for damn sure not paying that bill. Sitting down with my thoughts daily, questioning the moments trapped in my head, wondering if it's truly her reflection cosplaying as me in that bed. Watching constant pain and suffering play a silent yet deadly role, suddenly clocking to me that these lustful ass niggas truly be too bold. Comfortable telling me how in your mind I should operate, taking the time to finally ask myself, was I truly his babe? So no, maybe women ain't always the problem. But somewhere between wanting love and being loved correctly, a girl can lose herself trying to survive a man's confusion. And y'all know I had to go let that little breath out because, listen, when it comes to finding the right partner, I haven't had the best of luck. Now, I want you all to picture little Amaya at this point, if you can. I grew up with two parents, my mother and my father, and they have been married since 2008, the very same year I became an older sister. And also being close to 20 years in marriage is truly such a blessing. Watching my parents go through any and everything that they can, while also loving each other and learning about each other at the same time, it allowed me to see what type of man I wanted in my life. Piggybacking off of our last session, it also stemmed from being lusted over on a constant basis, which rightfully so pissed me off. Learning about what type of man I need in my current season, but also understanding how to truly be alongside them is a journey in itself. And in that journey, we begin to kind of write down what we want. And I kind of have this Bible verse in my head all the time, and it's write the vision, make it plain. I think it's in the book of Habakkuk. I'm gonna look it up and tell y'all what it is next episode. But being able to look at the type of man that I wanted being simply built from the idea of what love looked like through my father and my mother's eyes. And also being a huge Disney kid, thinking that Happily Ever After actually exists. Being that one of my favorite movies is Hercules, and wanting my man to be like Hercules, I was kind of being delusional here. Like, when we begin trying to find the perfect man for us, many people will do any and everything to stay with them, even if it comes with toxic waste. With this, it brings in what everyone loves to call a bird. Now, I ain't gonna name drop, but a lot of these celebrities that we listen to in terms of music, those we love to watch, and even just those who we buy things from in terms of clothes and things like that, we are beginning to slowly realize that a lot of the things that are being put before us is actually a tainted fantasy. For those who don't know, a bird is a woman who doesn't know when to leave her partner or just flat out sticking beside him, although he's full of shit. Now, I'm gonna be honest and admit here to y'all. I was a bird. The biggest bird, baby. I tweet, hooty hood. I was Tweety Bird. In a cage. At that. And now, once upon a time, it was this guy. This guy I met around, I want to say, a month before I became a freshman at my institution. And this man, I thought he was the king of sheeple. He was just so flat out perfect. Me being me, I love seeing the good in everybody. You know what I'm saying? And understanding at that time that I had to learn about my femininity. I hope I pronounced that right. Femininity. Hey, I got it, y'all. There we go. Femininity. Hey. But being able to learn about me being feminine, because I kind of had my tomboy moments, but I also wanted to learn how to be a pretty girl. I had to hone in how pretty I was because, like I said, I wasn't told I was pretty like that. All the guys just wanted to lust after me because I got a big old booty. But this man didn't do that. He actually liked me because of my personality. And for that, it kind of made me look at it differently, but also know that I was worthy of love. Unfortunately, love turned a blind eye on me and it shitted in my face. I stuck by this man day in and day out. When he told me that he wouldn't go to my institution and he would go somewhere else 2 hours away, I stuck by him. When he wouldn't text me, stuck by him. When I never seen him in person, because we was long distance, I stuck by him. Or my favorite memory, when he blocked me out of nowhere, 14 days after Valentine's Day. He told me Happy Valentine's Day, how much he loved me. I stuck by him. And the gag is, he unblocked me. Literally, y'all, I kid y'all not. When I landed in Atlanta, because I go to school a couple hours away from Atlanta, driving distance, that is. And he proceeded to tell me that he wanted a break. But we were still going to, like, you know what I'm saying, be in a type of relationship. Now, Amaya in this time was dumb. I didn't know what the hell a break was, but I understood this. That man was still there and I'm gonna stick beside him. Not talking to anybody. Not being able to experience what other men were out there because there was a man that I thought loved me. Lo and behold, cheated. Mind you, I can't say he cheated because we were on break at the time. And it broke a little Maya heart. Because around that time, I was still trying to waver away from being in that relationship with him because one day, y'all, I was just fed up. But also being fed up, I was able to learn about what my future partner may look like for me, even when other people told me bad things about him. That's not me typically being a bird, but I was trying to be like, nah, I can't see that. Baby, I was thinking in a death do us part mindset. While many guys was trying to be in a hit it and quit it mindset. Yeah. Now looking back, I was a grade A bird. Which had me think. I had to let men understand that you may be going through something or you may not love me anymore. But that does not mean I have to destroy myself trying to save us. Somewhere along the way, I was able to confuse patience with loyalty and loyalty with love. I kept thinking if I stayed long enough, loved hard enough, prayed enough to God, or proved myself enough, maybe God would come in somewhere and he would help him choose me correctly. But also at that time, I was not equally yoked. And equally yoked does not even have to stop at marriage. It comes before the marriage part, and that's boyfriend and girlfriend. Because I'm a firm believer that I think it's Mark 10:9. Somebody correct me. What God puts together, no man can separate. And even looking at biblical marriage and biblical relationships, although they was old as hell, mind you, right? There was still something about them that gave perfection in a way. And I kind of crave that, but also not understanding everything that we may see in the Bible, we tend to kind of distort the reality. And I ended up being a subject to that. I ran with a version of what I was reading while not fully understanding its context of what love is. And as I was able to finally let him go, it allowed me to understand something very uncomfortable. A man will only treat you as serious as he takes himself. And if he's confused, emotionally unavailable, lustful, or still entertaining chaos, eventually that confusion spills onto you. Suddenly, you begin to display anxiety. You're questioning yourself. And you're overthinking every interaction. You're checking your phone like you're Olivia Benson and calling it love when really what we're facing is emotional survival. That's why sometimes our sense of nature, even common sense, begins to kind of disappear. Not because we are desperate, but deep down, we just want to be chosen correctly without having to beg for it. And honestly, that shouldn't be too much to ask. And being honest, that's the part nobody really talks about. Even when we look at those who are in domestic violence, and although this is a very odd topic to talk about, um, seeing those that have experienced those type of relationships, and people tend to get upset at times when people don't leave. It's because they are given a version of their partner, and that version is all they pray for. And I'm grateful that I was not hit. I will definitely and honestly say there were times where I really just didn't feel like I didn't know what love was, because I would accept anything that this person was saying to me. Just a whole bunch of sweet nothings. And I did that because I see the potential before I saw the pattern. I kept trying to love people through confusion, trauma, inconsistency, emotional unavailability, and lust. While slowly I abandoned myself in the process, and I'm slowly trying to get out of that now. And one day I woke up exhausted, realizing I was carrying the relationship the entire time. Instead, I could have been carrying my cross and giving my relationship to God instead of trying to handle it myself. And that's why at that time, I asked myself, am I the problem? Because, my bad, y'all. Every time I ended up in a relationship, I always got the short end of the stick. I always thought I was hard to love. But I also had the fear of rejection because I've always heard no. And it has a way of not only creeping on you, but making women internalize things that were never ours to carry in the first place. And honestly, some men will really sit there knowing that they cannot love you correctly and still allow themselves to give you a version that is no longer there and allow you to overextend yourself, trying to prove your worth. That's the dangerous part of all of this. And at the end of the day, understanding what love can truly look like for you, you don't always have to look at other people. Yes, you can have an idea, but what love is going to ultimately be for you is between you and God. And I'm kind of urging those who are in that situation, learning about themselves, to learn how to love themselves through God before you get into a relationship. Because at the end of the day, what I've also learned in that time, I didn't love myself 100% because I struggled so much with being insecure and kind of feeding an expectation of what a man looked like, but also just hearing the things that a man wanted from me. It made me think like, dang, what the hell are you doing? Because no, I don't want to have sex every day. No, I don't want to wake up and just be like, oh yeah, let's fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really just like, what am I doing at the end of the day? Because I'm not an object to you. But also at the same time, I'm still a woman trying to figure out what intimacy looks like. And I also came to that realization when it comes to how intimacy comes into these relationships, we always look from a standpoint of like, all he want to do is just fuck around. Trust me, I've been a side chick a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And being that side chick kind of helped me realize that maybe, just maybe, I got to get out of that. Because maybe one day, when my future partner that I do get to marry comes in my life, I'm not ready for what he can offer me because I'm so used to a tainted reality. And that's why I love the future partner that I have now, or getting able to know at this time. Because he's really allowing me to understand that these aren't what you're supposed to do. These bullet points that these men gave you aren't that. And he ain't perfect, I know. But I will say this. That was like a crazy time in my life to understand what that was looking like for me, but also being able to be there with them and also learning who they are at that time and being able to start over from an aspect that allows you to know about them, know their trauma, but also most importantly, ask God to be in between, because when God is in the center of everything, it becomes apparent that God is working, but also God is willing to be there for you in that time, and you're not just wasting energy and breath into those who God doesn't even want you to be with. So now I'm learning that common sense isn't just about recognizing red flags, but recognizing when your discernment is starting to alert you and telling you, hey, you gotta go. Or just when your spirit has started suffering, trying to force yourself into something that God never told you to hold on to. And maybe, just maybe, your healing journey will start right there. And with that, my rage babes and crash dummies, the office is now closed. Today's session taught us that giving that man the boot ain't always pretty. It may look like crime, crashing out, blocking that man for the 15th time, rereading old messages, realizing you ignored every red flag because you just wanted to be loved correctly. Yet, regardless of the chaos, one thing will always remain true. Confusion is not love, and inconsistency is not potential. So, no, maybe we aren't always the problem, but we do owe it to ourselves to stop shrinking our common sense just to keep somebody around. And in the words of the great rapstress, Lil' Kim, the moral of the story is this: you ain't licking this, you ain't hitting this, and I got Winnie sis. Ask any nigga I've been with. I don't want dick tonight. Clock it. As always, protect your peace, drink your water, stop stalking that man, and stand the fuck up. Did I say witnesses wrong? I did. I'm gonna try that again, y'all. In the words of Lil' Kim, the moral of the story is this: you ain't licking this, you ain't spitting this, and I got witnesses. Ask any nigga I've been with. And we go to the chorus, I don't want tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of funny, y'all. But I don't want y'all to, get on me. And y'all lucky I ain't do nothing crazy after that, man. Because I got self-respect for myself. And my future husband, because I ain't going to jail. Until next time, you've listened to that 4270, the home of Sincerely BAP Radio. the cautionary tales of a Black American princess who's learning to heal while forcing herself to not give up. You know the rest. With this being our tail end to Mental Health Awareness Month, if you or anyone is suffering, please be sure to tell a loved family member or friend or somebody you can trust. Go to therapy. Find things that can help you because it is so important that you are here with me so I can talk to you. Because trust me, these therapy sessions would not be possible without you. And guess what? I'm grateful you chose to stay another day. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm starting to tell myself that now. And as somebody who has suffered through silence and can feel like I am alone, it is so important that you all are here with me. And you know what I'm saying? I get to go talk to y'all because this is fun. And make sure to come back soon. If you need another laugh, replay this episode, replay the past episodes that I've had because this show is not just for me, but it's for anybody. And without further ado, drive safe, rage babes, and crash dummies. And I'll see you all at our next therapy session in 2 weeks. Bye.